I never really expected that this would be such a insane story from the beginning, because you go through like 1 to 3 and it's like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then 4 gets a little cool, and then it just like progresses so nicely throughout everything. Like so many stories hit so hard, and so many like small nuances that go into such detail of the overall story. Like episode 8 was such a great finale. Everybody kind of coming together, timeline split. You kind of got an idea what's going on with Tallulah first, and how they kind of got to the point of becoming a reunion, Cache, learning all that kind of different stuff. And then we're also following, like, you know, the current timeline of Emilia, Rosmontis, reunion members, Patriot, and kind of how that's all predicting and fighting and all the different stuff meeting up to Tallulah, and then having them converge together to get an idea of like why Tallulah is the way she is and why she's being kind of, you know, at this point brainwashed by Arts, by Cache, and has Cache living like mentally inside of her. And just having that kind of a whole ordeal, because it's like, damn, this is not the Tallulah I know. And it's like, yeah, it's not, bro. And then you get to the end and then you realize that it's wicked, because even though Tallulah had like really strong ideals, like in some way Tallulah was kind of already prepped for Cache to kind of manipulate in this way, because, you know, at the end of the day, Tallulah had kind of ultimate things that she had to do, or whatever, what she had very extreme beliefs, and Cache was able to take and kind of joyride that into becoming this monster basically. But honestly, bro, I think this is a really good chapter. I think the episode had a lot of good ups and downs and had a really good pacing. There's a lot of things that happened overall, and I think a lot of the story, you know, as the characters that we've grown to know, I think there's a lot of good growth. Rosmontis, Emilia, of course, and then the relationship between Calcit and Doctor definitely started to become a little bit more, especially at the end. You know, you get a little bit more of an idea. We don't necessarily know exactly what's going on with Doctor and the memories and everything at this point. Calcit obviously understands that, but we got a glimpse of it. We got an idea of what it kind of looks like. Yeah, it seems like their relationship is slowly coming to some sort of agreement, or at least some sort of terms where Calcit can kind of live with Doctor in the current state and not necessarily hate him and oppose him. And hopefully there's some sort of like bridge to the future, it seemed, with Calcit kind of saying like, hey, as long as you're kind of staying this way, I hope you never lose that, even if you get your memories back. So that's a nice little cherry on top of that. And then it just kind of seeing, you know, everybody and all the reunion members, former reunion members, and where they're going to go. You know, wherever they're going to kind of progress and how they're going to kind of cultivate their areas and where they're going to, you know, end up later down the road. And then Tallulah still battling and kind of coming to terms where, you know, she's opposing Cache now. It's not even a thought in her brain that Cache could take over. So now she kind of has to come to grips with that, which is also a pretty cool development, seeing where that may, you know, end up and how Tallulah is going to be handled in the future. Because right now, you know, she's basically being held and what she can be anyway, seemingly for her own will, though. It kind of seems like she's not going to fight to get out. You know, maybe that's where she thinks she should be right now. And then just seeing all the other members and Hoshiguma and, you know, Swire and Siege popping up, which is obviously just kind of a glimpse of what's going to happen next. So overall, I think that the whole entire reunion arc was phenomenally done. The beginning was a little slower, of course, but as it kind of picked up pace and started to grow characters, I think it did a very good job at telling all the different stories it needed to tell. And then also just kind of having you have, you know, a pull on the heartstrings and just developing with these characters, seeing everybody kind of grow and flourish into their own. And, you know, like Chanamiya, Rosmontis, Tallulah even, and the kids. I mean, Mephisto and Faust, just kind of seeing what went on with their life. Mephisto, bro, so misunderstood, but I get it. You know, there's just a lot of stuff. Yeah, I think overall, I think that the progression, and I said this at the beginning of chapter 8, I really like the split timelines merging into one. I think that's a really good story tactic, and I think it's really good at progressively like making you understand what's going on in past and present. I like when timelines are like that. So personally, I think that was a really good touch on episode 8. So overall, I think I'm pretty happy with everything. There's a lot of mysteries still, kind of where the future is going to head up and what different things are going to happen. But I think it was a nice conclusion that everybody kind of came to kind of be and the end of the arc and stuff like that. And then just kind of the closure of all the different names and people that we lost. And kind of the summary at the end was really nice as well. Just kind of going over where everybody's at and kind of the progression with some of the different people that we left in some of the older chapters or some of the beginning of the chapter of 8, kind of know where they're at and what they're kind of doing. So overall, I think it was really good. I think it was really well done, and it's probably like the peak of storytelling so far that I've seen in a game like this. So